Pitch black. 2:28 in the morning. Somewhere in the dark, a digital heartbeat flatlines, and nobody hears it scream. It's the Catalina foothills, one of the wealthiest, most fortified neighborhoods in all of Tucson, Arizona. The kind of place where the driveways are longer than most people's streets, and inside one sprawling house pressed against the shadow of the Santa Catalina Mountains, an 84-year-old woman's cardiac pacemaker, surgically implanted, Bluetooth synced to her bedside phone, rips its connection dead. Permanently. This isn't a glitch. That timestamp is a confession. It is the exact second her body crossed 15 feet from that bedroom. The exact second someone took her. Outside, the front walkway is already bleeding. A thick, dragging smear of fresh blood cuts across the interior foyer, hauls itself over the threshold, and pools down the exterior tiles all the way to the lip of the driveway. Then nothing. Then desert. A multi-million-dollar extortion plot is already running, and the only witness to any of it is the cold, dead data she left behind. Before the blood, there was Nancy. She grew up in the quiet suburbs of northern Kentucky, worked as a society editor for her university paper. Quiet, sharp, careful. Over 50 years ago, she planted herself in the Catalina foothills and never left. She raised her family there, buried her husband there, Charles, who died during a mining exploration trip in Mexico back in 1988. She was widowed at 52. She kept going. Church community, friends, faith so deep it held her upright when nothing else could. But her body was failing her. Compounding cardiac disease, severe hypertension, a daily pharmaceutical regimen that wasn't optional, it was survival. She couldn't walk 50 yards without help. 50 yards. Think about that for a second. Nancy Guthrie was physically one of the most vulnerable people in that entire zip code. She was also the mother of Savannah Guthrie, co-anchor of NBC's Today Show, one of the most recognized faces on American television. Someone had done the math on that, and they liked what they found. This wasn't spontaneous. Whoever did this had been watching for weeks. 3 weeks before the abduction, January 11th, Nancy's security cameras catch a man walking her property. No tactical gear, no rush. Just slow, patient laps around the perimeter of her home, testing camera angles, mapping blind spots. He wasn't casing the place, he was studying it. Let that sink in. Saturday, January 31st. Everything looks normal. Nancy takes a 5:32 p.m. Uber to her daughter Annie's house for dinner. By 9:48, her son-in-law Tommaso Cioni drives her home. He doesn't just drop her, he parks and waits in that driveway, watching through the windshield until she's inside. The garage door comes down at exactly 9:50 p.m. She was safe. The door was shut. The house was sealed. The watcher came back anyway. 1:47 a.m. The front Google Nest doorbell camera is manually killed. The digital eye goes dark. 25 minutes later, a secondary motion sensor catches him. Masked, armed, tactical backpack strapped tight. A flashlight clamped between his teeth so both hands stay free. He presses local vegetation directly against the camera lens. Then he gets to work. He crosses to the rear patio, takes Nancy's heavy terracotta flower pots, and uses them to wedge open the kitchen screen door and the back wooden gate between the garage and the guest casita. Both propped open, silent. No spring-loaded hinges to shriek an alarm. A perfect invisible exit strategy, built with her own garden decorations. He had thought of everything. 2:28 a.m. The pacemaker severs. Nancy is gone from that bedroom. But here's what breaks the logic of this whole plan wide open. He doesn't use the rear exit he spent an hour carefully propping. Instead, Nancy's blood is dragged straight through the front of the house, over the foyer floor, over the front threshold, down the exterior walkway, all the way to the driveway's edge. Why? Why abandon a prepared, silent rear escape to haul a bleeding octogenarian out the most exposed entrance of the house? Did something go catastrophically wrong inside that bedroom? Did her heart seize before he even got her to the back door, forcing him to scream into a radio, kill the timeline, and pull a getaway vehicle directly to the front steps? Is there a second person in this story we haven't found yet? Sunday morning. The Arizona sun comes up brutal and indifferent. At 11 a.m., a church member calls. Nancy missed service, completely out of character. Family arrives at 11:56. The house is empty. The foyer looks like a crime scene, because it is one. The 911 call goes out at 12:03 p.m. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos takes one look at that blood trail and mobilizes everything. Aerial drones, helicopters, experimental signal-sniffing devices, built by a former NSA hacker, designed to hunt the Bluetooth low-energy pulse from Nancy's pacemaker across an 800-foot radius of open desert. They're scanning the Sonoran Desert for a heartbeat. Then it goes international. Within days, TMZ and other national outlets receive ransom communications. The captors want millions. In Bitcoin. Untraceable. And to prove they physically have her, they describe specific clothing Nancy was not wearing that night. Details that never hit the press. They describe property damaged inside the house during the struggle. This isn't a bluff. They were there. The FBI is already on the phone with Mexican federal authorities. The border is 60 miles south. The terrifying possibility that Nancy, or the people who took her, has already crossed it is treated as an operational reality. Then the apology letter surfaces, and the entire investigation fractures. Investigative journalists leak the existence of a secondary communication sent directly to media. In it, the captors claim they had no idea how sick she was. They write that her heart gave out under the terror of the abduction. They say she has, quote, gone to be with God. Is Nancy dead? Did a kidnapping for ransom accidentally become a felony murder? Or is this psychological warfare, a calculated move designed to make law enforcement stop hunting a living woman? The investigation doesn't get cleaner from here. Former Pima County Sheriff Dr. Richard Carmona goes public, claiming the crime scene was destroyed in those first critical hours. Untrained personnel, he specifically mentions commercial pizza delivery drivers, allegedly crossed that blood-soaked threshold before proper protocols were in place. If microscopic DNA evidence existed, it may be gone. SWAT teams have since raided properties in the nearby Shadow Hills subdivision. A reward exceeding $1 million is posted, and still, nothing. Nancy Guthrie has not been found. That pacemaker's last ping at 2:28 a.m. is still the final record of her existence. A ghost signal from a woman dragged into the dark by someone who planned everything, and then watched their plan collapse in real time, leaving blood on the tiles of a house she'd lived in for 50 years. Sophisticated cartel operation? A desperate local who didn't understand what a cardiac patient looks like under terror. And who was driving that car? The apology letter. I need your read on it, down in the comments right now. Because either someone panicked and told the truth, or someone very cold and very calculated is playing all of us. Subscribe, notifications on. The second that pacemaker signal lights up, we're back.